Well, he's fought 26 times in the UFC, and he's fighting in his 5th different country on Saturday. Joining us from Brisbane, Australia, via Skype is the man, Frank Mir. How's Australia so far, Frank?
That's good. I like the climate. Good humidity, and the people here are super friendly, so it's as best I can expect.
Beautiful.
So, Frank, obviously you had to make the long trip to Australia. Mark Hunt didn't have to travel so far. Is this an advantage for Mark?
On the offset, yes, but that's why actually, I left Vegas last Thursday and made sure I came out here plenty of time to just, not so much even to acclimate because they're at sea level and I train above sea level. So it was more or less, that plane trip, it's 14 hours is brutal. So just to make sure that I had enough time to get the kinks out of me and still keep good workouts going and keeping the body fluid and healthy.
Mir, this is Dominic. Is this matchup with Mark Hunt as simple as striker versus grappler, man? Or is it more?
No, not really. Obviously, his strong suit is his striking. I feel on the ground, he's good at the ground as far as defending it and getting back up to his feet, but he's not a threat to finish the fight there, whereas I'm a threat in both aspects of the game. And so I really feel that it actually, I have to make a very aggressive play to get the fight to the ground. And even if I don't succeed, the advantage I have that other people that want to get the fight to the ground have is just almost like that despair of oh man, I didn't get the takedown. Now I'm forced to stand up with him. But if I can make it to where the ground attack is a threat, the takedown's a threat, then it makes it to where now while he's doing stand-up, he has to worry about being taken down. And that drops his stand-up down levels. And my stand-up, I've always learned how to do it in the realm of MMA. And that's a different kind of stand-up when you can consider taking angles of takedowns and strikes. And so it actually will increase my abilities to do stand-up. The more he fights the takedown, the easier it will be for me to land shots on him. And then if he gets frustrated enough to really commit to the stand-up, then it'll be that much easier to take him down. So I am looking to get the fight to the ground. But if it doesn't go there, even just imposing my will to try to get it there is going to help out every other aspect of the game.
Well, since you said you need to impose your will, come out hard, I'm wondering, you came out hard, super hard against Duffy. I was cage side for that fight. Knocked him out. It was a beautiful fight. And then your last fight against Arlovsky, you started out a little slower, a little bit of a different demeanor against Arlovsky. Which Frank do we see against a Mark Hunt, that kind of matchup?
The Arlovsky fight, actually, the reason why I was sluggish is just too long of a training camp. There's a reason why guys, you peak out and then you come off of it. I'm training for Duffy, we trained for 10 to 12 weeks for that fight. And then I had basically 3 days off and was back in the gym and then preparing to fight Andre 5 weeks later. And so really I was just flat and overtrained. And I had a hard time trying to be explosive. I didn't have any oomph behind any of my shots, my movement, everything felt forced. Still go out there and try to fight and compete. Not every fighter, very few times in life are we ever going to be 100% when we face an obstacle. But, we do with what we can with what the cards we're dealt with. And so that's what kind of took away that pop that I had in my step in the fight with Duffy, was that I had trained properly and peaked at the right time. In the Andre fight, not the case.
Well, Frank, you stayed very busy last year. You fought 3 times. Now you have a 6-month layoff, I believe. Is that why you took the time off?
It was. I mean, I looked to maybe even fight in December, but an opponent had fallen through. But I feel that after fights, I'm a heavyweight, I'm 36 years old. Training itself, if you're training right, it's rough. You take your dings and, also too, it's mentally draining to be in a camp for, 10 to 8 weeks or whatever the case may be. So that time off in between to recharge your batteries and kind of regain your motivation is extremely essential, very important. And not doing so, I've seen the results of it. Taking a fight on notice like that, I think I would have been better off had I been taking a fight on 5 weeks' notice and been out of shape. At least I would have had at least a round or two of oomph behind me. Whereas if you're overtrained, you feel flat, and I can point to the fight and sit there and go, no spring in my step. I remember even feeling bad that Saturday, trying to do our first workout in the morning before the fight to break a sweat, and I looked over at my corner. I was like, man, I just don't feel right. I don't feel on. I'm struggling to try to get any kind of pep in my step right now. I'm like, it's just not. I don't feel explosive at all right now.
Frank, thanks so much for the time and the awesome interview, man. Have fun this weekend. Get it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.